Stay tuned. Here with the Coach John Brand.
I can't. Okay. All right, I'm here with the vet and Griffin. Use it if we want to. Hey, that's great. Barbecue heaven, right?
We are talking about barbecue today. Oh my gosh.
Yes, we are, and I can't wait. We talked about doing this one, and I'm telling you what, it brought back a lot of memories. One thing about barbecue, it's like a story food. It's like, remember that time I went to this place, and one of my places, I had to stand in line for hours just to get in the door. So, yeah, Texas and barbecue, there's always this thing of Texas barbecue, Memphis barbecue, or Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah. Now it's Carolina barbecue.
Carolina barbecue. They put slaw and crap on it, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what we got.
So we're going to do top 5 barbecues.
All right.
We'll make it easy. We're cooking our backside here.
Yeah, the Bachman Homestead today.
Yes.
Finally we can drive.
Yes. So, Coach, my number 5, and so I'm going to say this is, I'm not a big barbecue connoisseur, to be honest with you. I have a few of them. And I'm not a chain restaurant guy, to be honest. I like to go away from the chains. But my first couple are chain restaurants. I hate to say that. And my number 5 is Famous Dave's.
Famous Dave. I've never eaten there. Where's that at?
It's a Kansas thing. It's a chain restaurant there. They used to have the stock on the stock market, and it's pretty decent. I actually like the ribs, really good, and I like their cornbread was really good too. So.
Wow. Well, my number 5 is going to be a local one. When I was growing up, we had bodacious barbecues.
Yeah.
Around.
Oh gosh.
And they were famous from like the '60s, and then I think the original one was in Longview off of Moberly. It closed a number of years ago, and some guy bought it and redid it back in like 2015. And I think I saw in the Texas Monthly Top 50, because I don't know what happened to mine. I was going to look for it. It made the top 50, the Moberly one in Longview, since it had been reopened. But I remember growing up, the thing that I loved about bodacious barbecue, it always tastes the same.
Yep.
But when I was older, there was one in Mount Pleasant when I moved my office there, and they would take these huge baked potatoes and stuff it full of brisket.
Oh man.
And just wrap it up in foil and take it, and then you could put your barbecue. It was great. But bodacious is my number 5.
Wow. So my number 4, we discovered when I was in Fort Campbell and then Fort Bragg, and they had it up in Michigan also. And that is Mission Barbecue. And it's a chain restaurant. But Mission Barbecue, every day at lunch, they stop for a second and they play the national anthem. They have a deuce and a half parked out front, and it's all about the veterans. And my kids love it because you can go there and you get ribs that are baby back ribs, or you can get St. Louis style ribs, either which way you want. And so it's.
Which one do you like the best?
I like the St. Louis style.
I like the baby back. We never agree.
I like
do we
the
agree
St.
on
Louis
anything?
style.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you voted for Hillary though.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
We know better than that. So.
All right. So my number 4 is a staple in Tyler. Been around forever, and I do know they made the top 50 Texas barbecues. It's called Stanley's Barbecue. And if you've never been to Stanley's, you need to go to Stanley's. By the hospitals, and it's in this one little location. And they actually have added in the last couple of years. They've added a place where they play music and add a little deck to it, an extra deck. But their freaking barbecue is top-notch barbecue. Their sauce is a little different, and they're probably, if anybody sees this that's a part of Stanley's or knows Stanley's, they're probably going to tell me I'm wrong. But to me, it tastes like real good barbecue sauce with a little hint of Taco Bell taco seasoning in it. I don't know why, but it's got that taste, and it's really good. It's different, but Stanley's Barbecue is my number 4.
Wow. So, Coach, my number 3 is in Kansas City, is Jack Stack's. And Jack Stack's.
Are you from Texas?
I am, but I've been rotating around a while.
You've been more places than me. That's what it is.
So Jack Stack's is unbelievable, and it's just a great barbecue place, great venue. Kansas City's got a lot of great barbecue places there, and I just really enjoyed it. So
that's good. My number 3 actually went there specifically a number of years ago for this barbecue, did the experience. It's in Taylor, Texas, and it's called Louis Mueller Barbecue. And it's been around forever, and it's a staple. It's one of those places where you get there till it's gone. So you got to get there kind of early. Didn't have to wait in line that long, but I'll tell you one of the things is when you walk in, it smells kind of like, if people grew up in Pittsburgh, Texas. When you walked in Franklin's food store, you smelled burgers and you smelled grease.
Yes.
From those hot links dripping. When you walked in there, you smelled like it had firewood burning for 100 years. and it was just this whole smoky atmosphere, and it was just on paper and old benches, but their barbecue was top notch. Louis Mueller, you got to. It's close to Austin. If you're gonna go to Austin, you can stay for more than a day or two. Go to Taylor.
Cool. So my number two, and I'm wearing a shirt because that's the last time I ate there. My son's shirt, Lone Star suspension, air suspension here, up in Kansas, and so I'm wearing this shirt today. But a place called All Slabbed Up in Leavenworth, Kansas.
Slabbed Up, that's a name. Right?
It is phenomenal, and a lot of people go to Leavenworth, and people will think Leavenworth, think the prison. It's there, but it's a big leadership school for the officer side, and certain levels of NCO leadership as well, sergeant leadership at battalion and brigade pre-command course. So while you're there, they tell you, if you want to save some money and eat some really good food, go to All Slabbed Up, get you a rack of ribs, take it to your room, lasts a couple of days, takes care of you. So that's what I do. The only problem is right now, because of COVID, and it's a good topic to talk about for just a second, it's closed down.
Oh, yeah, I did go online and look at a couple places so I found out where they were located, so I make sure I could tell people. Like I didn't remember if it was Austin, right outside Austin, where the one for Louis Mueller was in Taylor. But it showed a couple of the places that made the top 10. There's like 2 of them, they're closed now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're closed temporarily or permanently or what.
This one says permanently closed, and that's sad.
Man, weird. All right, so number 2 for me is the Pecan Lodge in Dallas. You might not have heard of it, but if you had, you went, that place. It's a place in Dallas. That and my number 1 have been kind of back and forth, who might be the best in Texas. But the Pecan Lodge is an experience. You're going to be there a while, but it's a great, great place. Their brisket, you can take the brisket, just squeeze it, and you can just see the moisture. I'm talking about this is, they're cutting it right there, getting it to your table, and you sit down, it's still just as moist as you can have. It's some of the best. And I don't think they put anything on it but salt and pepper. Wow.
So before I go to number 1, I had a good friend, Kenny Bradshaw. He gave me a list of them, and because he's more of a barbecue connoisseur than I am, and he says, Ian, if you want some barbecue places, go to Kilgore, Texas, to the Country Tavern. It's the best one in the state.
I work 6 minutes from there, and I went last year, and it was good barbecue.
Yep.
And the atmosphere is just barbecue. That's all it is.
Cool.
It's not fancy.
He said there used to be a little dance floor there. It's no longer there. It's just barbecue, and it's only like a little square to dance in.
Yeah.
He said another place is Big Smith's at Lake Fork. There's one called Hard 8 in Stephenville, Texas. There's Franklin's in Austin, Texas.
Can't beat that place.
And Cooper's in Llano, Texas, where they raise the pit when you walk in and you can just smell it all. It's kind of cool.
Gosh.
So my number 1, being a Texan that I am, I don't have one from Texas, I'm sorry, is Pappy's Smokehouse in St. Louis. And what I'll tell you about Pappy's is what you said is that standing in line.
Yeah.
You will stand in line. It goes all the way around the building, and by the time you get there, they have somebody come out and take your order at a certain point. That way, when you get to the counter, you get it and you go sit down.
Yeah.
And the place is packed. You're lucky to get in, and if you get in, you should treat it as an honor. But Pappy's is pretty darn good.
Man, so my number 1 you mentioned with Bradshaw I was talking about, but I'd heard about the place in Austin and heard about it was in a neighborhood. It wasn't even like in the main part of Austin. You had to cross under 35 and go kind of neighborhood. And as soon as I did, I was like, what is going on? There are people sitting out there in lawn chairs. And this was like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I thought, well, I was told you got to get there early.
Yeah.
And so it's wrapped around this old house building into the parking lot. People got umbrellas, they're hanging out.
Yeah.
So I'll pull up, start talking to them. Some have been there since 5:30 in the morning, and they said, well, you're not going to get it now because there's only so much they can make per day. Franklin's Barbecue. So literally, this was 6-7 years ago. I decided the next morning to get up, 5 a.m., get over there at 5:15. There was about 25 people already in front of me.
Wow.
They start serving at 11, and I made it in about 12:30. And I have to say, people say, well, was it worth 6 hours? I don't know if anything's worth 6 hours, but I'd have went 5.5. But it was amazing. It had a crust on the brisket that, from watching some specials on Pitmaster Franklin, as they call him, he doesn't put anything on it but salt and pepper. But it had a crust of love. I don't know what was. I don't know if it's just his hands or what that touched it. But
Man.
Franklin's barbecue to me is top notch, the
I'd
best.
try it
ever.
out.
Oh,
I don't know if
my
I want to wait 5.5 hours.
Dude, we'd have to go up there with just hang. I'd have to have 2 meals before I go.
We'd have to go there and just have podcasts all during that time.
Start drinking about 2 in the morning, sitting outside the house.
Yes.
But anyway,
So, Coach, well, with that, I do have one quick story to tell about barbecue. Is I got to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I got a new boss in, and I invited her over to the house, and I said, it wasn't barbecue. I said, I'll grill her a steak at the house, invite her in. She's going to be the new boss. We'll be running the brigade together, and got over there and cooked the steak. And then she informs me that her husband is a barbecue connoisseur. He's written like 3 barbecue books.
You're
He
like,
judges
great.
all over the place. And I looked at my wife and said, I will never cook for her again. And it wasn't because I was mad at her. It was just like, you can't compete with
Nah.
that, you know.
you're done.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. I felt so bad. Anyway, so we got some little fan mail in,
Oh,
Coach.
some more emails.
Yeah, we're going to only ask one of them.
I'm just surprised
Yes.
at some of the questions we get.
So what's the most stupidest moment that you got? Now,
Can I think for a minute?
you want me to go first?
Yes, please, because there's plenty for me.
I got a whole lot. I've lived a life in stupidity, to be quite frank with you. But I'm going to just shield this one. The stupidest moment was making the decision to go take my wife and 2 boys at the time paintballing. And let me tell you something about paintballing. Have you ever paintballed?
Uh-uh.
You see those kids that are 17 to 25 years old, that's all kitted up and everything, spend $800 on the
They
kit?
know what they're doing.
There's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind that. We go out there, I'm wearing an Arkansas tuxedo. For you don't know what that is. That's coveralls. You know, and a long sleeve shirt, and I'm thinking I'm okay. And I get some, they issue you some goggles out
Does
there.
it hurt when it hits you?
You about to hear this.
Oh my gosh.
So I got the 3 against Dad because Dad's the veteran, you know, the war guy, you know, and so they're going to go all against me. And I'm thinking of it. You got these balloon things you standing behind that are like obstacles. As soon as I rear my head out, I said, let me go run over here real quick. My oldest son capped me in between the legs with that thing.
Oh,
I'm on the ground, and these are this round, and people understand this. They take these paintballs and they put them in the refrigerator to make them harder.
Why?
To hurt you more.
Oh my God.
And you know you can adjust the thing 1 to 10. Nobody goes to 1. I can tell you that they all go to 10.
Unbelievable.
So I'm laying on the ground, and then I lift my head up, and they hit me right here, and it hurt so bad. I had a horn coming out of my. You know how you. And I was just like, so after that first session, and I got pelted like a dozen times. My 2 boys are going. The youngest one goes, Mark, this is just like Call of Duty. Dad sucks at being a soldier, man. I'm like, that's it. I was about to quit. I'm like, we're doing this again. And then I had to pony up and be soldier on them, and I tore their butts apart. And if you don't know about my wife, she's German, and I shot her in the rump like 5 times, and Germans don't go ow. They go ow, 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 ow. So you could hear it on the battlefield, ow, 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 ow.
That's ridiculous.
And I tore them up, but I will tell you, it is no joke. Those kids that invest like $800 to $1,200 in their kit, there's a reason behind that. And but that was the stupidest thing. I would never go paintballing again unless I was full kitted up. I can tell you that.
Unbelievable. I was sitting here thinking, which one should I tell? But I think some of the things that you do when you're younger, you definitely wouldn't do when you're older.
Yeah.
First of all, you're older and you can't move as fast, and you think you're wiser. But I remember I owned a company that we had. It was a collection agency / repo, and I'd been searching for this guy that had gotten a boat and quit paying for it. And I'd been searching through his property, his parents' property, all through Longview. And finally I thought I could figure it out. He had a business there and he had a chain link fence. So I finally jumped over the fence. I would never do this now. It was a big tall fence. Had concertina wire on the top, and I figured out a way to get it over. Jumped over because there's this big pile of trees. And I thought, there's got to be behind it. Well, the closer I walked up to this pile, I realized it could be under this pile because he'd been hiding it for so long. It was like this sports boat, and I was repoing it for a bank. So I pulled one of the first trees that I could find. I could barely even move it, and there was a trailer hitch. So I jumped back over the fence, called the guy at the bank, and said, dude, I'm going to cut this lock and pull this boat out. He goes, don't you do it? I said, I got to, because it was going to pay me some good money.
Yeah.
So I'll go over to Lowe's, buy lock cutters, come back, jump. No, I don't jump. I cut, go in there, back my truck up to it, and I realized I can't pull all these trees off. So I finally just put it on there and decided, this is off Old Gilmer Highway in Longview, if you know where that is. And so finally I was just going to go slow, and as I'm starting to come out slow, I realized there's traffic coming, and I've got to speed up. As I speed up, I look back, and here's trees flying off the back of this boat all the way down Oregon Highway. By the time that I got to halfway between Longview and Gilmer, there wasn't a tree left on the dang thing. I didn't get in trouble for it, but I would never do something like that. I mean, I was thinking jail time, prison time, killing somebody's kid. But when you're young, you don't think that way. So that's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
Yeah, I have a laundry list that we're not going to discuss.
I have to be careful. I can't tell because somebody might know I'm talking about them. Or
Yes. Yeah. So, well, anyway, we just thought we'd do a quick one here on the barbecue. We want to hear your favorite barbecue
List
places.
them below. I want to
Yeah.
see.
We
I
want
want
to
to
know.
go places.
Yeah, because we want to go there and check them out. Because we'll go there and say, hey, Bob, it wasn't as good as you said it was, or
Yes,
it was.
definitely.
Yeah.
But Franklin's, I guarantee you hit Franklin's and you hit up Louis Mueller. If you're in the Kansas City area, call this guy. He
Yeah.
knows.
Well, I think that's it from
That's
us.
good.
From the coach.
To the vet.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.